All right. What was this?
Dueling Owlbears.
Oh, was that what we're going with?
I don't know. We're gonna workshop it and see how it goes.
Between two beards.
Between two Owlbears.
That's a dangerous place to be.
It is. That's one place you don't want to be. Between two Owlbears. Especially if one of them is dire.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So for this one, I just asked you the question before we started recording, and you told me, and I was like, "What?"
We had a moment in our friendship where we looked at each other and we're like... I
questioned you for a moment.
Yeah, we were both like, what?
But you just kind of briefly summed it up. I don't know what it is. Okay, so the question is, when speaking in the context of 5th edition, what's one rule as a DM... In
this book.
Yeah, as a DM...
In this actual book. In these books.
Yeah, as a DM, what's one rule you're just kind of like, I don't like that, we're going to do it differently. Like...
Yeah. And do we want to do mine first? Or we want to do yours first?
Let's say what they are, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. This is what Travis, like, he was looking through the book, and then when I said it, he goes... Like, he just... What? Like, he just jerked and was like, look at me. I throw out the spell slots rule.
Okay. Elaborate.
All right, so...
Wait, should I say mine?
Yeah, say yours.
During encounters... I don't keep track of enemy hit points.
How do you know it's over?
When I decide it's over.
When I decide it's over. I love it. That's the most Dungeon Master thing I've ever heard. It's over when I said it's over.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about mine first.
Okay, yeah, because mine's a little bit more involved than yours, I think.
I think so. So, funny story. This
thing happened on the way to the dungeon the other day.
So, last Fanaticon. If you didn't go, you should go this year.
You should go this year. It's coming up. It's closer than you think. Oh, God. It's closer than you think.
It really is. Okay. What's the guy who does the special effects? Like the makeup, the stuff like that? Matt something?
Matt something.
Starts with the S. We'll link it down somewhere.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Go check him out. He does...
It's that guy.
You're gonna make me put it on screen. He does like makeup effects and like prosthetics and stuff.
And he's done a lot of really cool stuff.
He's done like Walking Dead movies, a lot of the Avenger movies.
At Fanaticon, he did this thing where he like slit a girl's throat and she like bled and all that kind of stuff.
It was
Mallory. Yeah.
Okay, so he came up to me and was just talking about D&D and stuff, because that's what our booth is themed after, is D&D, Dungeons & Dragons, nerdy merch, blah, blah, blah.
And beards.
And we were just talking about dungeon mastering. And I brought it up, I don't know how it came up, that, one weird thing I do is I don't keep track of enemy HP when I'm running encounters. And he just kind of looked at me like, and then I could tell the conversation was just like...
was about to shift.
He was done. He's going somewhere else. Like,
you're crazy.
Yeah, basically. Like, oh, you're one of those.
We're not going to be friends.
Okay. So I keep in mind a ballpark of what, say, like an owlbear. I don't know. I'm just going to say he's got like 72 hit points or something off the top of my head.
Sure.
I don't know, really.
It's actually right here.
Quit giving me more work.
Just because I do things doesn't mean you have to do it.
I know, but then it just looks weird like on screen.
So an owlbear has 72 HP.
So, yeah. So I keep track, like, okay, I know he's got 72 HP. I'm kind of keeping track of how much damage my party does. But, like, if this encounter is going on and I've got a purpose for it, I'm not going to be like, oh, the thing's dead.
Okay. Yeah.
And also, sometimes, like, if I throw something at my party, which this never happens, my party is so overpowered. Mm-hmm. But if I throw something at them and I'm like, oh, they're going to die. This is not going to be good.
This is going to destroy them.
I'll be like, I play it by ear, and they're fighting, and stuff's happening, and they start going down. I'm like, I know it's time to wind it up.
Yeah.
I don't think the purpose of encounters in D&D is to kill my players. I think
not always.
I think the purpose of encounters is to continue the narrative in a different format. We've got role playing, we've got downtime, we've got encounters.
No, I'm just saying, I agree with all those things. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in a D&D story.
Yeah. So, my personal philosophy on it, D&D is unique where the people who are playing aren't playing in a competitive nature. Like if you play Warhammer or Wargame, you've got two teams. Somebody's going to lose.
Somebody's going to win. That's the point. Yeah.
If you read a book or if you watch a movie, like the person usually succeeds.
Yeah, it's the
drama,
hero's journey.
It's the drama that how they get there is what's exciting.
Yeah.
So if I throw something at them and I know they're going to succeed, like if I threw a couple owlbears at my party right now, I know for a fact they're going to kill them with no issue.
Mm-hmm.
So the question isn't, if they can kill it, it's how
they kill it.
Are they going to kill it? What's going to make this encounter cool to make it memorable and to progress the story?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't usually track hit points for my monsters. And, But
I think what's so shocking here is that you do that more often than not, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
Are there times when you do record or do track them? Like if you've got a big bad and you've got like a boss.
If I've got a big bad.
If you've got a boss and this is like wrapping up an arc.
Yes. And if it's wrapping up an arc and let's say a player death.
May occur.
Because
I believe you got to have that in there sometimes.
I was going to say, if you've got a player death that may occur and that adds to the drama, adds to the story, then yeah, I'm cool with a player dying. I'm all for it if that's whatever. So like say if the big bad is a dragon and they're fighting the dragon and it's a dragon. If your player goes down in the fight and the rest of the team fights it, overall you're victorious and your character dies a hero.
Yeah, that's true.
I think, there is danger and there should be that factor.
Yeah, there's definitely a balance in all of that. I have noticed the exact opposite. Like, if I'm totally with you, if this is a plot fight,
right?
There have been several plot fights in my campaign where, and it's weird because you have to play it right. Because if you don't, they figure it out and they stop trying.
Right. Yeah.
If they figure out it's a plot fight, then they're like, whatever. So there have been times, and I'm probably giving away my secrets if my people ever see this, I will pretend to keep up with HP.
I never told my Tuesday game this.
Oh, really?
This is the first time I've said this out loud, other than to Matt.
Yeah. So yeah, there have been times where I am just writing down numbers randomly. They mean nothing. I'm doing fake math. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'll write down some numbers. Like I said, I'll keep track of how much damage they're doing, because obviously a goblin's not going to take
5 rounds
damage.
Yeah. Especially at a certain point, you're like, smack it with the back of your hand, it dies, move on with life.
Also, the opposite. Say if your character's a barbarian or say an assassin for that matter, and you come up, sneak up behind it, cut its throat, I don't care how many hit points it has.
It dies. It's called assassination.
Yeah. If you get the upper hand on a goblin as a barbarian and you've got this 2 big-handed hammer, there's no reason you couldn't just cream a goblin
destroy
into the ground.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's my thing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your no spell slots.
Okay, so the way it works, and correct me on my rules here. Okay. You know what? Let's go to the book. Let's go to the book.
All right. Well, spell slots are different per class.
I know, but the way it typically works, the way I understand it is, you must, for certain classes, prepare certain spells, and that's what the spells you can cast that day.
Okay, that would be true for say a wizard. A wizard has to have their wizard's book or spell book, prepare a list of spells for the day, and that's what they got for the day. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But some classes, they don't have to prepare. It just kind of comes
right.
naturally.
And basically, so for a sorcerer, say for a level 3 spell, level 3 spell, they can cast any of their level 3 spells. However many spell slots they have at their level, yes?
I believe that's right. Yeah, you know a certain amount of spells,
right.
And then you have a certain amount of spell slots.
I basically don't do the preparing of spells.
Okay, so let's say you're a 5th level sorcerer. Okay, 5 cantrips. Cantrips you could do all day long as many times as you want.
Which is Yeah.
which is fine. And then in your little brain, little sorcerer brain, six different spells. Okay, your spell slots are 4 first level, 3 second level, and 2 third level. So, in that 24-hour period or long rest period, that's how many you can cast per spell.
So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can cast a total of 9 spells a long rest.
Correct.
And basically, what I do is instead of saying prepare spells, because what I've noticed is that every single day, unless they have in-game day, unless they have a set like these are my spells, I just always prepare these every day, it takes forever for them to decide. Or we get thrown into combat and I'm like, I'm like, what spells do you have prepared? And they're like, oh, I didn't, hold on. So I basically follow that rule.
Okay,
where
so you know your spells.
You know your spells, and you can cast however many slots a day under that.
I gotcha.
So let's go over to the
Wizard?
The cleric.
Oh, cleric.
Cleric, because I've got a cleric, and this is kind of where this came from.
I gotcha.
She was like, wait, how is this going to work? So, same level. What do we say, 5th level?
Yeah.
So, 5th level cleric has 4 cantrips, 4 first, 3 second, and 2 third. For a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The same amount of spells.
Right.
So I'm basically like whatever spells you know in your cleric domain / whatever, you can cast that many spells for that slot. So if you burn through your 3 second level spell slots, you can no longer cast second level spells until you rest.
So for cleric, you have to prepare spells. So you're just getting rid of the preparing part. And so like... Here's your, say, at 5th level, you have 4 level 1 spell slots.
Yeah.
You give them access to the whole list of
the
level
whole
1,
list.
and once they cast 4 spells, they're
no more level 1 spells.
Gotcha.
You can cast those at higher level, because that's still a rule.
Right.
But, yeah, and then once you burn through your 9 spells a day at 5th level, you're done. You can do your cantrips, because you could do those however many you want. But cantrips are kind of like, they're not going to help you in a fight, really. You know, that's kind of what they're designed to be. So once you blow through your 9 spells at level 5, you're done with magic. You better pick up your Warhammer and be a cleric, you know?
Yeah.
Which, if any cleric worth their salt knows, your cantrips better be some healing.
Okay. So
of course, Firebolt.
I can kind of get behind that.
Yeah, but it's not... It sounds... I think our thing sounded weirder when you just sort of... Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know, just sort of give the little snippet. I don't do spell slots. I don't keep up with enemy health. But when you actually break it down, it makes a lot more sense. Because I totally get where you're coming from, and hopefully my weird spell thing makes more sense now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And it's not like they have literally hundreds of spells.
Right. Okay, and so... kind of, I agree and disagree with the idea, because I like the idea of, if they have to prepare, that adds a little bit of like kind of I don't want to say drama to the situation, but this is what I got for the day. I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully I'm prepared.
Hopefully this works.
I kind of like that idea, but I also like, and this is the kind of this topic I want to bring up, is that for new players, which I think you have a lot of.
I did, yeah. They're kind of more seasoned now. They're level 10 or 11 at this point.
For new players, spells can be intimidating. The whole preparing, casting, knowing what you can and cannot cast.
That's why most new players start out with fighters.
Yeah, so this makes it a lot easier. I could see the benefit in that situation. You got a whole bunch of new level 1 players, like, hey, this is how many you can cast. Just here's your list of spells. Don't worry about preparing them. Yeah, and it also gives them a chance to try out different things to see how they flow.
Because what I also didn't want to run into talking about that very thing is I didn't want them to see the magic system, get discouraged, and it's like, well, we're all fighters,
right?
I didn't want that. I wanted somebody to be gutsy enough to say, I'll do the magic.
Yeah,
Yeah. And one of them did. She was like, I'll be a cleric, and I'm like, thank God. And then I told them the story about how I've literally never had a cleric in one of my parties ever. As a player.
Yeah.
I have never played with an actual cleric. Well, I take that back. There might have been one Radiant Servant of Palor, But that was 3.5. That was in a different universe.
All right. So, unpopular opinions. That's probably what I'm going to title it. But
yeah.
Rules as DMs that we just don't
throw
care
out.
for. Yeah.
I said before we started, it used to be the grapple rules, but they fixed those.
What was the grapple rule?
Oh, that's a whole nother episode. I will go on a tirade about the grapple rules. But now it's basically opposed athletic rolls. Moving on.
Basically, yeah. All right, so same thing in the comments. Same question. If you're a DM or if you're a player, for that matter, like, what's a rule that you're just kind of like,
screw that,
stupid?
Yeah, forget that.
Just kind of throw it out.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff.
Support all of our sponsors.
Yeah, whatever they are at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go find us on Patreon.
Yes, please.
And let us know in the comments what rule you hate. What rule do you get rid of?